What's going on, folks? So today we are gonna do the next step in this backyard. As you guys know, I have finished a couple different projects. The big one that I was waiting on was irrigation, and now we want to start making the yard ready for grass. The biggest thing that I need to do is build up a couple of areas with topsoil, and then I'm also going to add some sand and some compost for leveling property. But let me show you how we're going to take care of this and what I want to do so that I can get it as level as possible. So for starters, when we get back here into this back corner, you can kind of see the way that the fence goes, where it just kind of swells up like that. I'm going to try and even that off a little bit. I'm not going to go too crazy, simply because I don't want to create a situation where there's a big drop off right there into my neighbor's yard. So I'm going to have to contour that just a little bit. But that hill walks its way all the way from here all the way across, and then it just keeps getting steeper as you go back. I'm going to work on getting topsoil all the way into the area where my truck is right now. So I'm thinking it's going to be about 4 yards of topsoil just to get everything to a rough level, and then we'll come back with a bunch of sand and with some compost for the feeding side of it, and making sure that we have a good place to put grass. So my truck holds about 1 yard of material. I can unload that thing in about 30 minutes, believe it or not. I can move pretty quick, especially with the Gorilla Cart. I may not get it all smoothed out, but because I'm only doing 1 yard at a time, I really just need it in place. And then in the afternoon, after I'm done working, I can actually come back here and start contouring it to the way that I want it to look back here. So right now, it's just a bunch of manual labor, back at it. But hopefully we'll get some seed down this weekend, because it is going to be hot this weekend. We're going to be in the 90s. And I know what everybody's going to tell me. You shouldn't be planting seed when it's this hot. I don't have a choice. I mean, you guys can see what it looks like right now. So I'm going to do my best. If nothing else, we'll get something in place so we don't have a bunch of erosion from rain and from everything else. But that's the best I'm going to be able to do. So there we are. So I thought this was a piece of debris that was sticking out of the ground. Turns out there's a drainage pipe that goes right there. So this just became a new project. I think what I'm going to do is empty out the truck of the topsoil and lay it out right there where I want it. And then I'll come back to this. Turns out there's a drainage pipe over here as well that got buried, and I knew it did. This one ties to the downspout that's over there, and then also the one that's here, and it's right about there. And I knew it was clogged and had a bunch of leaves in it, and it stinks because I'm sure everything is in there that is starting to rot out, or it's been rotting out for years. So I'm gonna have to clean that out. I was gonna wait to do that. Looks like it just became a new project that needs to be dealt with sooner than later. But for now, let's just keep emptying out this truck. Project turned out to be a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. So yesterday, when I was spreading out all this topsoil, I found a piece of plastic that was sticking out of the ground, and it was attached to that pipe right there. And it was mangled from when they did the sprinklers. Well, when I tried to pull it and I dug it out, I found that pipe right there, which I thought was attached to the downspout on the side of the house. Well, I ran water down the downspout and it didn't come out here. So I had to go figure that part out. So let me show you what I did. I ran water down that downspout to see where it went. And it turns out that that pipe that we saw when we were actually planting these tulips runs underneath my new patio, and it comes out right over here. So I ran water through it. That is the old downspout drain that went all the way, and it ties to that downspout right there. And it had a drain that was on the other side of that corrugated pipe that runs out of that downspout. So now what I've done is I have dug out this entire pipe. I cut it off, took it off of this T. I'm going to attach another piece of corrugated pipe right there, and then have a pop-up that goes right up in there. That's my new sprinklers with a funny pipe that goes to those sprinkler heads. I've also got some funny pipe right here that had sprinklers that were going right to right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to attach that piece of corrugated pipe wrapped in foam and a sleeve, and I'm going to put it between that pipe and that T right there, with the hopes of having the water have time as it travels through this pipe, because that corrugated pipe is slotted along with that foam. And hopefully what will happen is that some of that water will be able to seep in and actually drain out before it gets to that pop-up. Now, I'm not super hopeful because, as you can see, I ran water down in here and it does not drain very fast. I ran water through this last night and it actually sat in here up until this morning. By this afternoon, it was gone. So the pop-up is going to be the thing that we're going to need for really heavy rains, but that was the best I could do. I didn't video me digging because I figured that was kind of boring, but you can see how much debris this thing has left behind. But, you know, it is what it is. So I totally got sidetracked from doing all of the topsoil to kind of regrade some of that and to fill in some of the valleys. But this was a necessary item, because if I don't fix it now and I start planting seed, it's just going to cause all kinds of different problems if I have to come back here and redo this. And I'm also planning on doing some flower beds along this wall here. So I want to just be done with this. I've already done the sprinkler. It took forever to dig through this because of the fact that all the sprinklers are in here and I didn't want to risk puncturing anything. But, you know, that's the way life is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach that. I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow because I don't want to go to Home Depot. It's getting late. And get a coupler to actually tie that pipe there. Because when you look at that, at this end, that's a 4-inch end. That's a 4-inch pipe, which was what's over here. So it actually needs a coupler to actually fit between the two of them. It will fit over here on this T because it's already kind of got that flared edge. And the same thing with the pop-up. So the corrugated pipe leaving the other side there will be fine, but I need a coupler to actually attach to the pop-up drain. So it's just a lot of work. Now, going back over here to this area, so a couple things have to happen here. I'm gonna actually do a dry well right here, which I'm gonna line this whole thing with some landscape fabric so that it doesn't mix. I'm gonna put in some gravel and fill that up and then cover it with more landscape fabric so that it doesn't mix in with the soil. And then I've got another one over here. So I've got this downspout that goes right here, and you can see that pipe right there. That's where it was draining into my neighbor's yard. But when they did the sprinklers, they actually cut the pipe right here. So it actually terminates right where that little hole is. So I'll put another pop-up right there. Once I get all of this done, then I should be good to go to actually finish my grading project. Once I get this thing all filled in and done, then I can finish my grading, because I gotta finish taking out this little swale all the way up to where those garbage bags are. So it's just, you know, it's a never-ending project. You know, if I don't do it right now, then I'm gonna be tearing up the yard after I plant grass, and that's just gonna make me even more annoyed. Better to fix it now than later. And then, like I said, no water came out here, but I'm gonna do the drywall just in case it's attached to something that I didn't see, because if I don't do that, then it all of a sudden floods. We'll have other issues. It's always a project. So yeah, that's pretty much it right there. I'll backfill it with some of that dirt, and then the rest of the dirt, I'll just use it to help level off with all of this topsoil that I used already. Making progress. Next thing I gotta do is the pop-up over here, but I'll do that tomorrow because I've got to get the coupler to fit with the pop-up that's going to go right in there. Another day. All right, so we got a little bit further. I have the French drain buried under there with a bunch of gravel, and then my 2 pipes there that are feeding the sprinkler system are available to get to those 2 sprinkler heads. I've got 2 sprinkler heads that need to get laid back down right here, but overall we are right where we need to be. It doesn't have to be perfectly level because when this fills up, we've got that little pop-up there. In fact, I gotta try and move that pop-up. It's gonna be hard because all that gravel's in the way, but try and move the pop-up just a little bit to the right there, and that should take care of it. But now we can put it in the dirt, and then any excess dirt will help to cover everything, and then we'll compact everything down. But this is probably the best solution I have for making sure that this drain works properly from the downspouts, because, you know, in a small rain, what's going to happen is it'll just trickle through all of the holes in a corrugated pipe. But in a torrential downpour or sustained torrential downpour, there's got to be some way for it to escape, or else we're going to have all kinds of muddy problems back here, which is why that pop-up is there. So that should work out pretty well. And then, like I said, we'll just cover it all up and we should be in pretty good shape. Well, I found the drain that actually was sitting right here, and it actually runs from that downspout to right about there. And then, as you can see right here, I actually pulled out the remaining pipe, which I'm gonna throw away. But I added the pop-up right there, put some gravel underneath it, and then I'll cover up with dirt so that I can plant seed around it. As you can see, it's pretty close to my valves for my sprinkler. Came really close to cutting a couple wires. And if you look really close right there, you can actually see one of the pipes for one of the heads that actually goes right up over there. So just gotta be real careful when you're around here. So that's it for me today. I'm pretty much done. The only thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover up all of these pipes and all the pop-ups with dirt so that we're ready to go. I've got a whole truckload of topsoil that I'm gonna spread out. I'm not gonna film that today. I'm gonna come back early next week with some compost and some sand that I'm gonna mix together and do the final grade and leveling for the seed. I know what everybody's thinking, and I'm thinking the same thing. It's getting later and later and hotter, which means that it's a bad idea for me to sit there and put down grass seed, but don't have much of a choice because I want perennial ryegrass. I don't want fescue back here, and I can't get perennial ryegrass sod in this area. So we are going to plant seed, and it's just the way life is. So if you liked this video, and I hope you did, then don't forget to like it. Don't forget to subscribe if I've earned your subscription. And if you want to be notified of future videos, don't forget to hit that bell, and we will see you on the next one. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will talk soon.